All right, this is the Town of Fairfield Conservation Commission. Today's February 25th, 2026. And Lucas Thomas, Richard Boucher, Kate Jill Mahoney, Ted Luxinger, Peter Hood, Salvatore Vassallo, Heather Rosenthal, and Diane Saunders are all here. Let's stand, please, and do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we're not here. Dabney's not here, so I'll appoint Heather for tonight's meeting.
I'm just asking. No, like our easement. I was just thinking,
Our easement.
I'm happy to be the voting member. I'm just wondering. Are we doing that today? Okay, thank you.
Right, oh, and Jay. So then, there we go. So Diane can go in. And I was full member there because Jay's not here either. So, okay.
Both of us?
Yes, both of you are on full members. For tonight's purposes on any votes that may come up.
The girls.
Okay? Now we have the approval of the draft meeting minutes, Conservation Commission meeting from January 21st, 2026. Any comments, corrections?
Oh, I noticed one thing, under old business, Old Dam Trail. It's trying to approve. Or, I think you meant improve.
Sorry, I'm just looking for it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, where is it?
Old business,
okay.
item 2.
First sentence. What you, Dan, what do you recall?
I think instead of approve, I think you meant improve.
Improve newest spur created from Pine Creek Avenue.
Yeah, well, it would
Oh,
in the area, yeah, definitely.
Improve new spur.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Diane. Any other corrections or?
I think, I noticed there was a date in the same point towards the bottom when it says there will be a conversation at the next meeting, February 18th. Is this your meeting or was our meeting today?
There will be a conversation at the next meeting.
Oh, because originally it was February 18th
Right.
and then it got rescheduled.
Got moved.
Yeah.
I should read today.
That's not right.
So February 20. Oh, we didn't say that.
No, because
So we
it,
can't change that.
at that time it hadn't been
Okay, so the
changed.
date was changed.
Assuming that that was,
I was
yeah,
confused, yeah.
just at the next meeting. Right. All right, that's fine. We'll figure it out. But that we can't change because that's what we actually said. So. Any other corrections or comments? Otherwise, the move we approve, move to approve. Anybody seconds, all in favor? Aye, with the correction. New business, Roman numeral 5. Number 1 is the discussion of the 2019 rules and regulations document. That was at the request of Commissioner Payne. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight. So we will table that for next month. Number 2 is the Donate to Conservation Initiative. So what that's about.
Yeah, thank you. It's was sharing with the commission that I worked with IT to create a QR code that is marketable to make it seems easier to donate. Had the idea because we have always had a revenue line in our budget to accept donations from the public. The problem was, there wasn't an easy way to do it other than bringing or mailing a check to the department. So I tried to make that easier by creating a QR code that goes through Square. The QR code's on our department homepage, main page. And then on the left column, there's also a description which describes what the funds would be used for in general. It is clickable, it's scannable. You could donate any amount. The description I put on the website is to a couple things, obviously used on open space for conservation projects. I thought it's appropriate since it's a stream of revenue outside our operating budget, that any projects that use this fund for expenses would be approved by the commission in advance for transparency reasons. And I would also summarize it at the end of the fiscal year to this commission what those expenses were and the outcomes of the project. I envision, things that probably everyone here would imagine of various planting projects, or like the Mill Hollow project where it was lawn to meadow conversion, initiatives like that. So nothing extraordinary. I don't anticipate huge amounts of dollars flowing just yet. But like I said, this always existed and there was no easy mechanism to accept donations, especially this time of year when maybe people need to unload some taxable income before filing. I don't know. But it's now out there. We're working on marketing it, getting it out to the public. The fact that it exists through Instagram, through the homepage, it's coming to be in the First Selectman's next newsletter. Alex and I tried it ourselves. The $5 she put in worked.
gonna ask.
So we do know that it does function. And the process is that once it's applied, Alex and I get notified that there was a donation. We already have that on our internal accounting form that we fill out daily when we transact funds through the department. Once that's applied, that goes up to finance, and that the money actually hits the town's checking account. So with the reconciliation of our yellow form internally, that then gets applied to our conservation revenue donation budget line and will be transferred into that pot. So it does work, and hopefully once the word gets out, if people want to donate, then they will.
Tim, do any other departments have this capability, and would a donor's name be public?
I don't know. And I recall that when the donation came in from Alex, that it didn't say anything, didn't reveal her name or anything. Obviously wouldn't be available to the public unless they sent an email and said, hey, I'm donating $100,
Right.
or whatever. But yeah, it does move quickly, and it does work. So
No other departments.
the police department use it
Yeah. Okay.
on their main page. They have actually several, and animal control officer Miller described it at yesterday's budget hearing that they do accept donations, physical donations of animal food and stuff like that, but also monetary donations. So yeah, the police department do it. I'm not sure if there's any others, but I do know firsthand that PD does have a donation
Nice.
option, so.
Okay.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
So then when someone donates, I'm assuming information goes back and that person gets a receipt though, even though their name doesn't show somewhere.
Yeah, we get a receipt, via email that they did contribute.
And their donation.
I didn't get as far as, do we need to generate at the donor's request of, you know, a letter saying you donated to the town or, were you tax exempt, you know? I don't know how often that's gonna happen. If it comes to that, I'll work with finance to generate a template.
That's not.
But,
It's just language, I mean, just like little.
yeah, exactly. So,
Didn't happen before.
you know, I'm hoping that, when it goes out in the newsletter, people see it. Hopefully another 30 or 40,000 people see it. If anyone's generous,
$5.
Yeah.
Now, are you putting,
whatever dollar amount you
We
want.
have 10 in there now.
are you putting in a voucher
Any
to
other
get your
questions?
$5 back? Or are you gonna leave it there?
You only put in
No, no.
250.
No voucher.
What's your question?
Tim, you mentioned that you might use some proceeds, assuming there's enough at some point, to purchase property for open space.
That could be, yeah. I mean, I don't know what's in, I'd have to go back to look to see what's in that pot right now. If the commission wishes, I surely could do that. We have other pots dedicated for purchase of open space. But I wouldn't rule it out if the commission wishes to use it for that. You know, that was part of the, like I said, transparency, but also, you know, adding an extra layer of oversight where it's not just me with access to that fund, you know, to that money, just blowing it on projects that I thought I wanted to do. I want it to be that we have 7 or 10 people here to say, no, that's not a good idea, or yes, this is awesome. So I just put on the website, you know, just to get it off the ground, some
That's right.
basic ideas of,
Right,
you
so,
know, low cost spending right now.
and that kind of leads us into number 3, the department newsletter, winter edition number 4. And the back page of it is the actual standard thing, and then of course the newsletter itself, which is, again, excellent, absolutely excellent. And that's, you know, in color online, of course, it's beautiful. So great job again. Is this Nicole again?
This is Nicole behind it. We have
Really nice.
some educational content.
From all of us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very well done. It does look better in color. I'll point out again, thanking Commissioner Hood for many of the contributions to photo content. So we used, I think, four of the large pictures he provided. At least, and
easy, that's the right.
yeah. But yeah, that the QR code is on the back, so it explains it a little bit since it's a new.
And I'll point out that in one of the little boxes in the newsletter is they're gonna start up the guided bird walks again.
Yeah.
And there are 2 spots that are open, so if anybody's willing to do something along those lines, please talk to Nicole.
Like invasives.
Oh, okay, okay.
Pull a switch. How do you think that would go over? If people showed up for a bird walk
And then start
and you
talking about
just
it.
said, well, I'm,
I like invasives.
what do they call it in theater, an understudy?
And then there's study.
Here I am, and
This is what I
the
do.
action's gonna be different as well as the actor.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. You could,
All right. Number 4, commission communications under FOIA. So, Tim, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, it was just to protect all of the commissioners from any accusations of ex parte communication. I just wanted to kind of reinforce what we already know, but could maybe improve on outside of this room as a public venue, to just be sure, or I guess be cautious of replying all or sending any emails to another commissioner or attachments or anything like that. There really shouldn't be. I'm not a FOIA expert, so but I, just want to recommend that no one gets themselves jammed up by doing that. If there's something you want to share with other commissioners, just send it to me first. And then as your staff and your agent, I can then distribute it amongst all of you. So I don't think anyone's talking to each other over the phone about anything as the commission or the agency. But I think it's really just an email issue that, if you have thoughts or ideas or anything like that, you could run it through me. Not that I'm filtering anything, but I'm kind of the intermediary so that communication doesn't happen outside public, the public venue.
But I want to add to that, though, if there are emails, especially to all of us, that deal with something that's in front of us.
Yeah.
That is an issue. So you shouldn't do that. You should hold on until we get here, whether it's a public hearing or not. This is the venue for the whole town, the whole world to see. It's being recorded, and it should be here that any issues, any comments, any questions, that should be here, as opposed to an email with all of us copied on it. Because then it affects all of us as well. And if a FOIA request were to come in, then your email account is now, you're gonna have to print out hundreds, if not thousands of emails to provide to them, or get a look through it and see which ones are from other commissioners for whatever reason. Is it likely to happen? Probably not. But can it happen? Yes. Okay. Wasn't there a video at one point, or is it just Betsy sent out like?
I can tell you, the town, it wasn't done this year by the town attorney. I'm sorry, I lost, but it was done earlier, but there was a FOIA expert that came in and gave a lecture. It was pretty good.
It was good.
As a matter of fact, the first
December
select
1st.
person was there, two of them.
Yeah,
I would say, there are some freedoms within the party. In other words, I'm a Democrat and you're not. I think it would be better to completely leave that aside. It's really much better to be
yeah,
super worried, or, a little bit of, paranoia, a little bit of that is healthy. But anyway, the video is available online. It's on the town's, there's
It
a
is?
link. I could probably
Okay.
find it, and what he would give you is all the slides are there too.
then I'll ask
I'll find it
kindly if
somewhere.
you find it,
Yeah.
and yes.
No, I was gonna tell you where it is.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
then whoever, if we
It's
can
very interesting.
send out an email either through Tim, send it out if you can.
Yeah, I'll work with Prue to find it and then I'll circulate it.
So at least you have the link. And if it's, you're bored one night, knock yourselves out.
The weather was
sleep.
bad.
Yeah, right.
The weather was bad that night or something like that, but yeah, there was a few of us
Okay.
there. It was very interesting.
It's good to just refresh on that, that's all. I'm not a long email writer generally, but you'll notice most of my emails are really short. And that's the reason behind that. So you should try to emulate that if you can.
That's why you and I have never gotten
That's
along.
right.
That's the root of it. I've always wanted for the last couple of years.
You're secretly my favorite person on this.
Yeah, sure. That's because the tape's running, right?
It's on the record.
All right, moving on to old business. Number one is the Old Dam Road Trail potential ad donations. So going back to the minutes, we said it was gonna be here on the 18th, but I think the idea was next meeting. And we sent an agenda out again, and they were aware that there's an agenda. So if anybody's here for that, hopefully we can talk to you about it. If you are not, again, this is a public meeting, so I will announce then that it will be on the agenda again for the next meeting. And hopefully somebody's reviewing this. There'll be publication of the agenda for next month, and somebody shows up. I'm inclined to not put it on the agenda again if nobody shows up. Okay, just so that's out there and now it's public.
Since you want something on the record, I think given.
Well,
I
just
think
put
it's
that
good
on
to
the
put it,
record.
I think it's good to put it, you're gonna move it, I'm all for that, but I think given the I don't know, scolding 2 meetings in a row about notification. This is really
Sure.
unacceptable.
Okay, yeah,
I just want.
yeah, no, I
that's just me.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Got a big mouth, you know? I write a lot, I talk a lot. I'm just,
Made it secure.
that's stunning. Sorry.
It's just, we're good.
So, all right, very
It's gonna
good.
be on the next agenda.
It will be on the next agenda.
It's on this one.
And, what I'll even add, I will even add, Tim, if you wouldn't mind, I'm actually gonna direct you to do it, okay? Send out an email to whoever it is that you're in contact with and say, this is on the agenda for next meeting. And you should review the commissioner's comments, on the record.
Which have been tempered, I might add. Because I'm,
You know me so well.
I'm tempering my remarks. That's, you know,
But no, seriously, it's been on the agenda. I'll put it again next month on the agenda, but at that point, and they should be coming here in good faith to discuss the potential land donations and have the people that are involved with those land donations, especially the owners of those properties that are willing to give the land up. Be here and discuss it if they actually intend to do that. Okay. All right, thank you. Number 2 on old business is the presentation of Harvard Hills Trail concept. Tim?
Yes, I was contacted by Alex. He's here tonight, and he will give the commissioner a presentation.
Yeah. Please come up and give us your name and you are and all that.
My name is Alex Ressi. I'm a Fairfield resident and I'm on the Fairfield Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee.
I'm Francisco Mira, also Fairfield resident and also a member of the Bike and Ped Committee.
And
I'm
also,
Mike Gallo, also Fairfield resident and been on the bike ped committee for 10 years now.
Okay, welcome all.
Have I been enabled to share? Okay, so Tim, when the property gets filled. with donations, this is where I would.
Looking for your 10 spot.
I may be a little. All right, so we're here to present the commission with the concept of the Harbor to Hills Greenway. This is a north-south protected walking trail that connects the top of Fairfield at the eastern border all the way down to the beach. Linking 13 existing open spaces. You know, as you can see from the map, it passes through pretty much the geographic center of Fairfield. And given that, it's very accessible to a large portion of the population. The other thing is it's designed to be built primarily on town or publicly owned property. We're also joined by a member of the public and also a town resident, Bill Ruski, who's instrumental in putting this together. And I'll give you some more on the genesis of how this came together. So our goal, we are pursuing a deep grant for planning this route. So we have a pretty good idea of how we want it to be, but we're seeking grant money, for planning, for planning purposes, not only for the route, but to do feasibility studies, et cetera. I'm sure many of you are familiar with how those grants are used. And so right now we're on a public and town-wide kind of campaign to build awareness around the project and garner support. So tomorrow night, we're hosting our first public event at the Fairfield Town Library on Post Road, where we're going to be kind of like having a different presentation, but beginning to engage the public around this to build support for the band. And so we're here to kind of make everyone here aware of the project, and offer you all an opportunity to comment and give suggestions, but ultimately we love this story. And the output of the grant, the planning grant, is, we want a publicly vetted, feasible route that's been studied for ecological impact, that's fully aware that we can kind of like use as a template to move this forward in different stages. So how can the conservation committee help? I think there's an opportunity for us to work with you on, defining what any environmental constraints early. Discuss stewardship and maintenance of said trail. And really, I think it would help to kind of get a blessing and support from this as we move forward in this process and look to get letters from elected officials, et cetera, to support the grant process. And my wife, frankly, when I was posting this on social media, the library event yesterday, she's like, "This is one of the more interesting things I've seen in the town. Like, this is awesome. This is a protected, 11 plus mile trail that will, enhance recreational activities and, change modalities of transportation and offer foot traffic in new locations. So this can be a real marquee attractor for the community. And
The Appalachian Trail of Fairfield.
That's right.
there you go. Right. So this is the proposed, this is obviously, you're looking at this, it's not easy to see, but I didn't want to get too into the details of this this evening. But the trail network includes Lake Mohegan, Mill River, Williams Hill, and the coastal links. And it connects downtown, so there's commerce. It also connects a number of community centers and schools. So there'll be access points in many areas so that it can be utilized for functional purposes in certain segments and then more recreational purposes in others. As mentioned before, it was designed to utilize publicly owned land as much as possible. And, the planning grant will allow us to develop this in segments. And even before the grant, there are certain sections of this trail that can be identified and, we can start to brand this, before receiving any grant money for it. And so it's probably hard to tell, but there's a legend here. And, Joe, who's joined us, was instrumental, and just a little background on how this came together. So I was working with the two fellows from my committee on developing a north-south bicycle or multi-use bicycle trail in Fairfield. And I was talking with Jeff Randolph from Planning and Zoning, and he was saying that he was working on a north-south walking trail with a member of the public who's here, Joe. And so we all got together and started discussing it. And it was clear that Joe had done a lot of work and a lot of research. During COVID, he literally ran every street in the town of Fairfield. And so he was able to really start to
Joe, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but this is Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
This is Joe.
He's on.
Yes, I know
He's been
that.
with one of us before, he's mentioned.
Okay, all right. So
Oh,
you've heard from Joe, all right? I don't need to give you the backstory then.
Okay.
But that,
Aware and
Okay.
happy that he's doing well where he's at. He's at
Yes,
school
so-
and things, so.
anyway, it was very helpful to kind of get his read on this. And so again, the purpose of this presentation is just to build awareness among you all and just get any feedback that you have. So, yeah.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Do you, oh,
Sorry.
would you mind going back 2 slides to that, what looked like, yeah. So what is that representation, that picture?
It's a picture of a boardwalk, probably from Lake Mohegan.
Yeah.
That's actually probably Mill Hollow. I walked them off.
That's Mulholland. I was gonna say, I think it's Mill Hollow.
I'm going for Grace Richardson.
Okay.
My initial thing, and I think it came up last year when Joe was here, and even the slides discuss it as a safe walking route. But it's bicycles,
There's
so
no bicycle. This is
No
walking,
cycling.
so
This is
forget,
it's walking?
all walking.
Oh.
Sorry. The first slide did have a bicycle picture.
Well, even the little. I don't
So,
know,
Oh,
Oh, I think it's-
It looks like it's a bicycle.
That's from our committee. That's a logo for our
You
committee.
guys do on
Fairfield
the
Bicycle
bicycle and
Pedestrian.
pedestrian committee,
I
maybe
thought
you
the same
could,
thing.
that would help a
Yeah.
little bit.
Was acting as pedestrian
So this is solely for people to buy and
running
Is
advocates.
it solely for people to walk on, or you want access?
It's solely for people
Walk
to
on.
walk. It's a walking trail.
Okay.
Or run, yeah.
Or
Okay,
run,
or
that's-
run.
or
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
fine.
Use your feet on it.
I-
No tires.
I thank you for clarifying that,
Yeah.
because I thought you were asking for a trail that either walk or bike, and I'm like, well, no, bicycles will.
No, no, no.
there are clearly segments that would never
Right.
accomplish that,
So-
or it would take, blasting them out apart.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, please continue, and I apologize.
trails.
No, it's okay. That's an important clarification. Yes, so that it's a walking trail.
North to south, 11 some odd miles.
Yep.
Walking trail. That was
Got it.
That was my question, was a bike or
Oh, Right.
pedestrian?
Yeah.
If it's walking, I can tell you I'm all for that.
Good.
So,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think it's a
I grew up
great
in town.
idea.
I think
Yeah,
I think it would be
okay.
such an asset.
I think it would, yep.
But what exactly do you mean?
Yeah,
When
okay,
I'm
good. Now we get
interpreting this
into it.
kind of
Yeah,
like
this is
as connected. So what is it that you mean? I start at one place and when I get to the end, what's the bridge between where I am and the next segment of your trail?
There'll
Do I
be-
have that right? I'm a little
Yeah,
bit.
there'll be, I mean, I mean, if you look, if you know the town, you live here, so you understand generally how it crosses through town. So there'll be places where you can get on, and get off. And I think that's one of the attractive things is it's sort of linking a lot of these spaces and it provides the opportunity for people to discover a lot of these open spaces that are known only to residents, like up in Hoyden's Hill. And no one, south of the Merritt, has probably been up there. So
So will
like,
you will you be designating a path within, say, an open space that's part of this network? If that, I'm not good with the words, but is that what you plan to do? Have some sort of
so
like badges on the yellow trail or something like
Yeah,
that?
it's not gonna replace, it attempts to use as much of the existing trail network as possible. The opportunity is to take these disconnected, segmented systems and link them up. So I think that's the way to think of it.
An organic kind
What
of.
about, what about maintenance such as the boardwalk? How would that be handled?
So part of, so the grant itself, it's for planning. And part of the planning is first the alignment. What's the alignment that best uses existing trails, existing, owned land, minimizes any land acquisitions. And of course, there has to be some sort of study for operations and maintenance of the trail itself. As part of the planning. So the planning would give us that.
So the answers to your question would come after they get a grant or if
Right.
they, and they do a study.
And would
Okay.
it be the Conservation Department or Fairfield DEP, or if you get the grant and get the money, who would do the maintenance?
We don't know.
We don't know
We don't
yet.
know.
We don't know
We
yet.
don't know.
We don't know yet, but
We all agree there would be
it's a
some
question.
maintenance required.
Yeah.
Some maintenance required, but
Sure.
at the end of the planning grant, we know the number, right? Like, it's gonna be this amount and then we can move into construction, if you will.
Right.
Which construction can be putting the little things on the, maps,
Trail markers.
trail markers, or in some cases, like we did a walk last fall between, Mill Hollow and, Perry's Mill Pond. They're right there, but they're not connected.
Right.
And then Perry's Mill Pond itself is not connected within 3 trails that it has. And then Riverfield is right there and
It's not connected.
it's not connected,
Yeah,
right? It's like,
exactly.
and like simple as just connecting those 3.
Is this different than, I think it's called like greenways or green, have you ever heard of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
State would
It is different,
Okay.
but that was also part of this as well. Like it's coming from the deep recreational trails grant is what we're going for.
Okay.
But it is different in the sense that greenways, like like the ones that I think you're talking about typically end up being multi-use trails.
Yeah, okay.
And so this is, so that's the difference. This is straight walk.
Walking,
Yeah.
minimal, disturbance, if you will, because that's why you're here in front of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
I might go to a trail and it's an existing yellow trail or whatever. But you probably would have something that say this is part of the,
Yeah.
the hills or whatever.
Hills, Greenway.
I'm gonna presume that somehow at the terminations or the entrances of the trail, you're gonna say, hey, the next segment in the system is X. Why don't you go check that out? Is that kind of what?
Yeah, I think,
I mean, given that I'm
There-
physically, I can't get from one to the other by walk, well. I could,
Well,
but
it's like
that's
the
not
rails
my
to, like, I think it's like, it'd be like a rails to trails with
Right, yeah,
bikes, right? Where you're gonna hit a road and there's gonna be parts where you're gonna have to cross. Just like a rail
You
trail.
have to do.
Yes, right, like
The
just like
rail
in-
trail, exactly.
Right. You're gonna have to,
You have to do a little bridge.
yes,
You
right,
have to do a
exactly,
little
yeah.
bridge to connect us.
Get on the sidewalk and it will be something indicating that's the
Yeah.
direction to take, a signage or.
Road for a quarter mile.
yeah, and this is all gonna come out as part of the planning process, but ultimately, we're gonna have a trail map.
Right.
And there'll be a system and there could be segments and the segments could be, like branded, or not, so like this is still in the concept phase, but the goal of which is creating the continuous trail.
Could be added to
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
and Personally, I'm sold on it. What I assume you'd like is a recommendation, not a vote, from us as far as support.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do in bicycle and ped, just for the record? What kind of stuff do you do when you have your cool meetings or whatever?
Now you gotta come to one of ours.
Yeah. Are you saying you're not cool?
Invitation.
I'm assuming that you think we're cool because you've been to this meeting, so.
Shimono versus.
Argument about sidewalks. Yeah.
Basically, yes.
Right.
But I'm
Yeah,
just
you
saying,
do- We do
what
that.
is it that you will
We,
do there?
I mean, we try to bring policy related to bike and pedestrian, safe streets kind of policy, try to bring it into with public works from the town, try to do events, either educational or recreational. Like I mentioned, like in the fall, we did a couple of walks, sort of trying to talk about this.
You did just get a grant for safe streets, correct? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that was not us particular, but
Yeah, I came in when they were just finalizing the safe
Yeah.
streets from our farm. We bubbled up to the first selectman office, and as I recall, it was not a policy, we had no enforcement, just like a series of suggestions for, better
Yeah, so,
policies downstream.
Right.
Just to better, try and answer the question about what we do, because we should have this a little tighter. We are a volunteer advisory board for the town. Each of us was appointed. And we do promote safe streets for walking, biking, and open space access. So that's like the nuts and bolts of it. And then there's a Vision Zero initiative, which we help with as well. So Francisco was mentioning, like the sidewalk things and stuff like that means like no fatalities.
Okay.
So that's
I'm an out
why,
loud person, in case you haven't figured that out.
oh, it's good.
Like out loud for the record.
Good, yeah, come to one of our meetings. And then also just, we bring public ideas to light as well. So we advocate for things that we support, like we're hoping to get support for you. And
With that, I'll start from that end down there. Tim, what are your thoughts on this?
The concept's phenomenal. And I'm all in favor of it. I think we should have been on the state greenways a long time ago, as a town. And all the open spaces being as disjointed as they are has always been a problem from my perspective. Having been in business doing risk management for financial services, I'm taking the risk manager's approach, and every connection point where somebody's got to walk on a public street or cross something, the town's risk manager is going to want to take a look at that and see what our potential liability might be. Maybe none, because if you get on a rail trail, you're crossing streets all the time with your bicycle. But that's the only thing that would concern me, aside from the maintenance and figuring out what that would cost. but the concept is awesome. I mean, Pequonic Trail is like 11 miles from one end to the other. Is the only thing I could find, for biking up there until you get to Scary Town where they've got the old, the smelting factory at the far end of it. But for Fairfield to have something like that would be a huge step in the right direction. So I'm absolutely in favor of it.
Ted, why is it?
Second. Yeah. Diane?
Yeah, I think it's great. I guess what I'm wondering is, you mentioned it, it's proposed to be about 11 miles. So are you going to have it set up so that people can drive and park at some segment of it and then walk a shorter version of that trail?
So
How-
like egress points, outside of what some people who live in neighborhoods that would have walking access to the trails, open space parking would be one place where people who are interested in walking a segment would park in an open space area and get that way. So I think as part of the planning grant, as we dig into more of the details, that will certainly be a consideration, but just thinking off the top of my head, like that is one way that people could enjoy different segments of the trail.
Some of the open space parking is very limited.
Yeah, right.
Smith, Richardson,
I mean, I echo what's been said. I think it's a great idea. I think it will help people know and enjoy the something that we already have. Yeah, there are concerns about parking and risks, but we're not adding anything. We're just showing. I think the purpose is to show what we have, and people don't know how to don't know it, so they cannot appreciate. So it's a great idea. Speaking of speaking of parking, why not create some bicycle parking where the open spaces are? Because people can go to an open space and a bike, and they cannot ride the bike in the open space.
Love it.
Yeah, but I like the idea of like encouraging people to use
Yes.
different ways of transportation than just a car.
Well,
Yeah. All right.
human powered transportation.
I think it's a great idea. Conceptually, what we know so far, I think it's such an active town and we have so many great trails. And I think people
don't know.
don't know. And it's just really hard. And it says, go that way and go that way. Oh, okay. Now I'm,
And for someone who grew up not in the US, it's not an easy town to walk. It's easier than many other
Yeah,
towns
no,
in
I
the area.
agree.
But it's not a safe town, generally speaking, to walk. And so that's a great initiative that you have, a committee. So I applaud that.
Sold.
Okay.
Great idea, connecting everybody, making it open for people. It exists. It's just a case of connecting it together. I would be a bit concerned about maintenance for the future, but it's a terrific idea, guys. I think we should support it fully.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think it's long overdue. I think connecting them would be a wonderful thing. I just, but I really hope that the town is cooperative and that all these little things can work themselves out.
All right, and Pete.
Yeah, I would support it. I think there's some logistical things that I'm a little concerned about in terms of them connecting. And just for the record, it has not much to do with this, but I have to say, I really don't support safe streets, just as a odd conversational thing to put in.
Come to our
That's
meeting.
that's a totally different issue, but it's just,
like another
just so
talk.
you're aware of that, I think that's, just so you know that some people are not on board with that. It might help you just to be thinking about it.
So for purposes of tonight, you're asking for our support in trying to get a grant to study this, right?
And trying to get support in submitting the application.
Submitting the application.
And actually try to get support from the town in whatever match is needed.
What's the application that it's that we would approve it no matter what happens, or are you gonna come back and show us?
Oh, yeah, no, of course.
We'll show
Yeah,
it to you.
yeah, we'll show it to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's the
Yes.
consensus to everybody from what I heard, is that we agree with the concept. We support that you trying to find out what's this report and what's it gonna show us, and then we take it up again.
Yeah, we bring the application, this is what we got, and you.
Do we need to, eventually, when you have your application all together, do you need like a letter of support?
Any letters of support that we can garner?
Need it now,
And I
or-
believe, I'm not sure we can actually submit it as us, the committee, or it has to be the town itself, so like Tim, I know you've done like certain other.
It has to be submitted by the town.
By the town, so.
What is being submitted to?
The application of the grant application.
Grant, and
Yeah.
that's, all we're just talking about is a grant, right?
Correct.
So it's very finite in what we're supporting.
Yeah, so Alex, early on, I'm backing up, I don't know, a few months. Alex and I sat down with our grants manager
Yes.
and had a similar conversation. We looked into what grants could be applicable and settled on, had some ideas with possible state grants and, that are worth pursuing as it applies to what they're requesting. So a grant to plan, like Alex said, to come up with the logistics and how this works was maybe use the money to hire a consultant to do that. It's like a cost benefit analysis and feasibility study type of thing. So
I think the two things, and Francisco sort of alluded to this, is, this isn't a slam dunk. It's not just
Right.
like, oh, we're gonna fill the application out.
Any support you have would be
Yeah,
helpful,
because
right?
the thing that, the piece that's
Any
important,
support you would get would be helpful.
yes, but what I'm, like, I want to finish the,
Don't
yes.
snatch
Sorry. Any support you can get
from the mouth of victory.
I think I want to make a proposal that we write a support letter based on the information that we received tonight and have it part of our record. I make that motion.
Anybody
Second
second?
that
Yes.
motion?
All in favor? Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I was to say one other thing. We are, no, this is not snatching, hopefully. We will be conducting.
Ever seen Shark Tank where they go to?
Yeah.
This is good, because I think you guys would enjoy this, I hope, but we're gonna be conducting some walks on different segments of the trail. So we will send invitations.
Oh, that would be
Very
great.
nice.
Maybe we can get them to come together on the bird
I
walk.
think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
I
yes.
wanted to
Awesome.
learn more
We're
about
just
your.
thinking about that too.
Yeah, we want some tit for tat for this.
We want some mileage.
Still on there. Thank you so much for all your work,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Thank
Joe,
you.
good luck, buddy. Hope
Good
you're
luck,
doing well
Joe.
down there.
Now, do you guys get
Pay
along in
attention
your
to
meetings
trail
with each
markers.
other?
Okay.
Signage. I think there's a lot of fully marked trails out there
And,
that get lost on.
Yeah.
We've had a good deal of turnover.
There's all trails.
We followed this guy.
We fight a lot here.
Oh, well, that makes things spicy.
There's no fighting. There's no
Thanks,
fighting.
guys.
Thank you very so much.
Thank you.
Good
What time is the meeting tomorrow in the library?
6:30.
Bring your friends.
Bring friends, yeah,
Yeah, bring-
definitely.
And some of the sections of what you're putting together are already on Avenza maps, so you may want to look at creating an Avenza map of that.
That's good.
That's good.
Joe may have already done.
Well, he was.
Joe probably has done that.
But Joe probably
too.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, moving on to number 3, natural resources inventory draft.
Yes, Commission has had the draft of the text, I think for a meeting or two. I have it on the agenda tonight to see if there were any comments through the review process, if there's any issues with the text. Hoping to get feedback, and no feedback could be good feedback, but at least on the text. And then I would like to, if approved, if the text is approved tonight, then go back to the consultant with that and start inputting the final touches with photos and all the eye candy into the text to create a second draft prior to publishing for your second review, I guess. But I just at least wanted to deal with the text separate from maps, which you've seen, and the text with the embedded photos.
I was really,
I was too.
that was a lot of work. I'm not sure how you guys all got that accomplished, but.
All the consultant.
I think
Yeah, she's
I
does a
think we
great job.
talked about this already. My only comment is that there are a lot of recommendations that are embedded in the text that I'd like to see an executive summary up front as to what the key recommendations are as a result of the NRI, because that's going to become part of the POCD. And it's going to be something that's going to help, drive our strategy as a commission. So I always like an executive summary, what are the key bullet points to look for?
Is this the first time you're telling Tim this?
Hmm?
Is this the first time you're making this observation?
Tim and I talked about.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, otherwise, if you wouldn't mind memorializing that in an email so you can have it.
Happy to.
Okay,
No problem.
okay.
That's a really good idea.
Mhm.
That'd be good. And anyone else? Any commissioners about that? No? All right, well, I would, hope that we all give as much feedback as we can, or at the very least, Tim looks great, go for it.
Yeah, no, it's a good,
So-
it's a doc.
There's a lot of material, you know, which is why it's been floating around for a couple meetings. It's not, you're not reading that in one night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll take that.
I'm looking for pictures to send you, but I don't tag everything with what open space I take pictures of, so I never.
It doesn't matter if you have good pictures from in town.
I got tons of Mohegan.
Mr. Hood sent a whole bunch. We get stock images as well, but wanted to at least
Great that.
I'll send you my iCloud.
have local
7,000
content.
pictures.
And again, if you need the link, I did send that link that would upload to our G Drive. So
You share that with everyone?
I did
Okay.
twice, but I'll send it to you
I'll
a third
find
if
it.
you need it.
But you see, Ted, you can't pull anything over. Tom, what did I say? I said, I voted for Grace. And he's like, no, we don't have those kind of boards there. So what I would suggest is watch out for your identifying factors in your photos.
Show me the picture, I'll
Might get caught, yeah.
Tom will tell you who did it.
I'm such a smart
Is
aleck.
there like a photography department or one of the universities that might have some cool pictures of open space? I'm just wondering, like, maybe, that would be student, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I don't have any contacts or
What about the photo contest that you did a couple of years ago?
That's.
I still have that.
One, by the way.
Yeah.
That's why I remember
Still have that.
Congratulations.
Not one, I was one of the select,
One of the
along with
select-
the.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do have some.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, that's another spot.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Photo contest.
So if
I
you
just
do
wanted to make sure. if
from that, people would maybe
No.
send in more
We gotta-
pictures.
You should stop by and check it out. All the, if you go into the office, all the stuff that's on the wall.
Contest from.
Is from some residents in the town that took pictures for a contest.
Wow. that
And
is
then the first
cool.
select woman at the time gave out an award and stuff like that. It was really neat.
wow.
Very nice.
So we could maybe even recycle some of those.
Yeah, yeah.
I have all those still, yeah.
All right, very
Those are
nice.
beautiful.
All right, moving on to number 4, old business is 980 High Street Conservation Easement. So I'm assuming that's not ready, Tim?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So let's just put that on for the next meeting. And at the same time, we can put on, if it's ready at that time, our model for us to discuss. If not, vote on, depending on its,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Luke, about the model.
put it on, none of it's ready, so it'll go on to the next meeting.
Why do you say it's not ready?
980 High Street Conservation Easement?
Yeah, they submitted something.
But what they submitted was in January. We haven't got anything since that January submission.
No, that was the last email from Attorney Leclerc.
And nothing's happening until. there's a
Yeah, so it's
negotiation.
not here, so we're not voting on it.
Okay, but we're not voting on it because he's not here. I mean, we have comments on it.
So save him until he gets here. That's the whole,
Okay,
I mean, I'm not taking it up if they're not here.
okay.
Was there,
Do you want me to reach out to
did he say
Fine,
that's
and-
the last thing and our town council said this is good and it's signed off and everything's good on it?
that was the last email I got from him,
From who?
from Brian.
That said what? What
With the last red line version. With his edits was January 5th, I think.
Okay, well, then, that's not. There was an indication there was gonna be a whole bunch of comments.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
that's
I haven't
what we
received
hear.
those.
There's been nothing.
I could reach out to him and request his presence at the next meeting.
Yeah, if, because we have comments.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
A lot of comments.
And I have to say, I have tried and it's hard to follow the ball. Looking at the two, going back and forth, I'm not gonna say I wasn't struggling a bit.
Yeah, that's why.
As I was.
If they're not here, they're not here. I would assume that they were here.
So in preparation for that meeting, since it's being postponed now, would it be possible to get a red line of our version of the easement as we've established it so far against what he's presented?
If you'd like to
And-
do that, you can do that and give it to Tim.
Okay,
Okay. If you want it, that maybe is.
it just makes it easier for
Makes it easier for
everybody to
everybody.
review.
So, if the commissioners individually have language that they all want in there for this particular one, 980 High Street, not the model. For this 980 High Street, which I'm treating differently, like we done in the past. It's not, don't put the model language in there just because we haven't approved a model. We only have a concept of a model. So for 980 High Street for next meeting, request that Attorney Littler is here. And that we will attempt, I'm not gonna mandate it, attempt to have some sort of red line that we can present to him through Tim. So please don't email each other saying, oh, I want this one in there, I want this language in there, and I want that. That should be done here.
You know what request I could make? It would really be helpful, assuming it's in Word, if the line should be numbered. It's just clicking a button and it makes it so much better to be able to identify, especially when we come to a meeting. We can go to say line 358 instead of having to go and say it's section, because sometimes when these things get reformatted and they're looking different, if you can,
No
it's
problem.
just clicking a button and it really.
I have
makes life
staff for that.
But you,
And I'm used to without the lines because that's how
Oh,
we
yeah?
do it. Yeah. I would just go through sections, but that's okay.
Hey.
That's whatever makes it easier
I'm
for
gonna
you
go with the
guys.
flow.
Okay.
Paragraph 3.
Yeah, paragraph 3, sentence 5 or whatever. So that's,
Say all of paragraph 3.
all of paragraph 3. Oh, okay. Yeah. So whatever it is. And that's how it,
I don't think so.
that's how we'll get through at least 980 High Street. We want to get it. And then we can discuss at the same time, right after that would be our model.
Okay.
And actually, I'm glad, I guess Jay's not here because he was also a big part of it with you guys. So it'd be nice to have.
And he did reference Bill Kenny's maintenance plan and
Yeah.
we're having trouble finding out. I was
Where's
like,
that
oh, I'm
plan?
trying to track that down.
Okay.
Maybe we could bring that back to the
Yeah.
file cloud for access.
It's all good?
Yes.
Yes. All right, moving on to number 5. It's the vehicle, vessel and equipment replacement plan.
I did take into account, Commissioner Gonzalez, edit that he caught, very well with the year of the vehicle. That made that confusing, so I did revise that. I wanted to ask the commission if there were any other comments, revisions before requesting approval to finalize this draft that I could transmit to Board of Selectmen and First Selectman's Office and Board of Finance. If there were any additional comments. For the record, I did make a couple minor word adjustments on the backside later in the document. And I did reorder the the tables on page 11 and 13. I brought a cleaner version with me. I did it actually tonight before the meeting, but I did put the vehicles in order by model year. It was just easier to see old to new. Which you don't have in your copy, but just letting you know that I did do that.
1908 Model T.
I just think it's such a great idea.
Yeah.
You're doing this. It's just great.
I do too.
Forward thinking and the idea that you're thinking down the road, I think the planning where you were saying, look, we're warning you. Remember last time you're warning you that such and such vehicles and you got to work it into the capital.
So I'll point out that,
I'll take credit for it.
right, so, Rick here always sometimes give me notes and stuff, and it just goes, it says another Tim Bishop achievement.
Yes.
So all of this, and that came from this, the little scanning payment thing. This, I mean, it's just, Tim, it's, it really is, we're so lucky to have you here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
My notes go to the right.
Look for a ride
That's
on,
why I'm not going to show you what they are.
yeah,
it's out
for
front.
better days, so, okay.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's just a necess, we're in budget season now, which I'll talk about later in the agenda, but a document like this is hopefully going to, serve the department, but
It also gives you back-
self-serving
Yeah.
me to deal with
We
the
told you 2 years ago.
boards
about
during the
this,
budget
you know?
is,
Yep.
it's could be a difficult process this year's, I'll talk about it later, but it's a difficult year in town. So I just think it's, hopefully will make my job easier, but also the boards to be able to plan, financial. I mean, it's, just for example, the cost I got from Vermeer to replace our 2002 wood chipper is over 116,000.
I was.
So it's a huge, I mean, it's the size of a Tahoe. It's a big machine.
Yeah.
But, to come up with, if that thing goes down, our department's not doing much. Or where are we getting one? Where are we borrowing one? Where are we renting one? So, to be able to not have to spend that big nut at once unplanned is, we need to have that in motion and they have to be able to stick to it as well. You can't be kicking the can down the road. We just had the Tahoe go down for some major repairs last week. Now we're out of vehicle. Now that screws Tom up doing his duties. Now we gotta borrow an old junk police car for a couple of days while they, spend money in this thing. That's, how old? It's 09. So it really screws us up logistically. So if we can have things in motion in advance, it's just gonna make the department more efficient. No, rent things very
You're
costly.
planning ahead. I think it's easy to talk the town out of rent. Terrible.
So if I could request, if there's no further changes, that the commission vote on approval of the document. I could finalize it and distribute color copies to the appropriate departments and boards.
I'll make a motion to approve that. To bring it forward to the
The appropriate
parties.
parties in the town. Okay, anybody second that?
Second.
Rick seconds, all in favor,
Thank you.
and that's all around. Good job, Tim.
Good job.
All right, we're moving on to numeral 7, open space land acquisitions. Number 1 is an update on 377 Riverside Drive donations.
As of Monday night, during the snowstorm, I guess after, the RTM voted to approve, so that was approval 5 out of 5. So we're working with the town attorney to take title of that parcel. It's gonna be in progress now, so
Excellent.
that is,
Very good.
that'll be added to our open space.
Yep, keep that up on updates to see how it goes. All right. Number 2 is discussion for 80 Congress Street.
This, I included a letter in your packets addressed to me on February 11th this year from the Covenant Church of Easton. I think I brought this parcel up before. This is along, kind of up by Sacred Heart and along the Mill River and the eastern border. A parcel, almost 2 acres, 1 3/4. Adjacent to the Mill River. They formalized it by presenting the letter, requesting, that we work together for advance. I just wanted to put that, on the record, that it was submitted, and I've been working with the church group to, explore possibilities of funding. My initial concern, is that there is a, structure on the property, which appears to be, an old electrical substation, which is common, but not knowing whether there were any type of electrical equipment with PCBs, would be a concern. So, it might not be a big deal, but if we, decide to move forward and discuss funding and some environmental due diligence,
Would that be a phase one?
it would start with a 1, possibly a 2.
Two?
So
Okay.
there could be some costs associated with.
Yeah.
With it's not, may or may not be a simple,
Yeah.
transaction. It would also involve,
So
an
there's,
appraiser.
Tim, let me, I have a quick question answered, unless you want to answer. What's a phase one, phase two? But
Sure. In the environmental due diligence world, a phase 1 environmental site assessment, I've performed 4,000 or 5,000 of in the last 2 decades of consulting, is really a desktop review of a property. It's going to involve, historic records, historic maps, interviews, all kinds of background on the property since, what's happened here since the last ice age? What kind of land use was it? What kind of industry, if any, and anything like that? What did they do here? And that's all tracked and determined through paper records, or online records now. But there's nothing other than taking pictures at the property. If any red flags are noticed during that due diligence period, based on the records, then the consultant would maybe recommend a phase 2, which is actual sampling, soil samples, surface or groundwater samples, air samples, soil gas, whatever you're looking for. So imagine, an old factory might have floor drains. You're looking at that. What did they do? Oh, they made ball bearings. Where'd the oil go? How did they handle waste?
Yeah.
Were they dumping it out the back door? Is there a loading dock? All that stuff. This is a small parcel, but if it did, and could be confirmed to have held, electrical equipment, transformers, capacitors, whatever, are there pipes? Are there drains? Are there cracks in the concrete pad? Is the roof made of asbestos shingles? Is there PCBs in the, window glazing? Could be a million things that could happen anywhere.
You've been through this before, haven't you?
A few times. So, this, like I said, it might not be the simplest, transaction, and maybe that would be built into whatever funding source we're gonna use to address it.
But it can also be built into the price. They know,
It could be built into the price. Is the building gonna stay?
Yeah.
Are we gonna,
Right.
with the demolition? There's a million questions. This is so early in the process. How much is it worth? We need an appraiser to determine that. I think, and maybe the commission, some of you would agree, this size acreage up against the Mill River is super strategic and valuable
Riparian.
as a riparian buffer.
Yeah.
And there's a small kind of driveway parking area leading up to the building that could facilitate, hey, I'm gonna park and go fly fish this section. This is also adjacent to the section that the Wetlands Agency has met with, or been presented to by Trout Unlimited for the restoration down to the first bridge. So there's a lot of benefits here. And it would be worth it with, this parcel not going out onto the market, which
Yes.
I'm thinking is probably not too marketable, being in a FEMA regulatory floodway. I don't think there's room for development. But the fact that the town would have kind of first dibs to figure this out is great. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping we could
So do you need
you
a
know,
motion or
work this
anything
out.
from us? Or do you-
Um,
or is it-
I believe the last time I presented this as a concept. I don't think we're at a point for a motion yet.
Okay, so this is still just discussion and you'll let us know?
Yeah, if I guess, you know what? Since I don't remember and I'm not looking in the minutes right now, we could oh, you know what? Let's do that. There, I don't remember if it was mentioned. Uh,
Wasn't it the last one?
No. Could have been prior. All right, so I guess if the commission would maybe somebody would be willing to make a motion to further pursue due diligence in its early stages as it works out or something to that effect. We would have to explore whether it's feasible and where the funding would come from.
All right. Is there any motion from any commissioners to allow our director to continue the feasibility study, if you will, of this property?
I so move.
Anybody
Go for it.
second? And Rick seconds.
I think it's
Okay,
an important piece to be protected.
excellent.
Really is.
All right, good job, Tim.
Thank you.
Number 3 is inquiry sent to Connecticut Deep regarding state-owned parcels adjacent to Hogansville. Looks promising.
This is also very preliminary, but I just wanted to let the commission know that I did reach out to my contact at the DEP Land Acquisition and Management Division. There are several parcels, 3 in particular, that are adjacent to Hoydens Hill Open Space. If all 3 magically became ours, it would double the size of that space. One was over 60 acres. There are 2 other ones we'd be looking at gaining another 80 plus acres. So they're currently state-owned, unmanaged, adjacent and kind of sandwiched between our open space and Aquarian's property, which borders the reservoir. So my initial email inquiry was, hey, who would I talk to at Deep that manages this land? Would they be willing to give it up or transfer it to us?
I'll point out for the record, I just read a little note from Joseph there that these parcels are right next to the proposed crosstown trail. So for what it's worth, that was there. Okay. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
So it's out there. She's gonna get back to me. Those were the main parcels I was looking at. There's obviously others, you know, that are worth mentioning, but those would be the biggest, I think, and biggest advantage to us if we were to acquire one or more of them. So at least if I have a contact, you know, then we could have some open dialogue of no way, we want this for forestry. You know, maybe the state has some other ideas. I have no idea, but at least tell me that. So
Sure. Okay,
we'll
well,
see. We'll see where it goes.
keep going. That'd be great.
Wow, well, that is
Right?
exciting.
Isn't it exciting?
That'd be a home run.
It'd be, yeah, it'd be-
Right?
it would be great.
It's a great spot as it is. I can't imagine it being improved. It's just
Some odd-
breathtaking.
That would be, yeah, right? Number 4, current acquisition frequency rate is 2.45 month parcel. That's pretty good.
Pretty amazing.
Still keeping it around that.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty good.
so
Moving on, No bills and communications, so it's Roman numeral 9. Legal enforcement actions. Number 1 is an update on 42 Anvil Road.
Yes, we have had some correspondence with the property owner, and I believe Attorney Russo is here on his behalf, right? Yep.
All right. Counsel, come on up.
And this is just for the commission's knowledge that Attorney Russo will explain, but this involves the easement encroachment that notice violation was sent out regarding. It also involves regulated area of inland wetlands, but tonight as a commission is really only related to the easement.
Okay. Thanks, Counsel.
Chair, Commissioners, good to be with you. Chris Russo, Russo Rizio LLC, offices at 10 Sasko Hill Road, here on behalf of the applicant. Applicant property owner reached out to me to try to resolve this. And so I've tried to come up to speed relatively quickly. And so I looked at the site with him, spoke with him, and about some of the improvements that he's made to the property. And one of the things I noticed, as I usually do, first thing I did was I went to the GIS system for the town, and I saw how they had highlighted it. And I'm looking at it, and first I said to him, I'm like, well, I see the shed, and the shed looks like it's almost over the property line, and it's very close to the back here. But then what I noticed was, because I got a survey that that Tim had provided him, and if you see here, 177 feet, 185 feet on this side. What I noticed was, if you look, this is from an old subdivision. If you look at this plan, which is from 2018, the measurements are actually considerably deeper. And so it's 200 feet over on this side and 210 feet over there. This plan doesn't show those improvements, but what I could tell from looking at the plan is there's obviously a lot more room. And this mark right here is is the edge of the regulated area. So when describing some of the work, there was an extension of a driveway. There was some concrete stairs, and then there was that shed that you could see in the aerial. It wasn't clear to me whether those improvements were in the regulated area. There's also a batting cage area. And again, it's tough to tell exactly where that's located without a plan. One of the other things I noticed too is that there's an edge of lawn that makes it look like the property actually goes further, but the property line's actually right here. And then you could see the line for the conservation easement, which starts kind of off the edge of the property, then cuts off this corner. So what I said to him was, it's really hard to know what's going on without the improvements on a plan. And so I called staff today to talk about this. I think the first step, in my opinion, in trying to resolve this is to have an updated site plan. So I encouraged him to reach out to Huntington, because they did the prior one, and to locate those things so we know exactly where those improvements are in relation to both the regulated area and then the conservation easement. I don't know if you've had a chance to see the conservation easement or review it. It's a unique one. It's a little different than the ones I've usually seen before with the commission. It appears to mainly be about water control structures that I believe are back somewhere in here. Because there's things in there that allows mowing. There's actually an area where it says a specific area needs to be grass and nothing else can be planted there. So it's a bit different. So right now, without that plan, I think we're kind of a little bit blind as to what, where there might be a violation. So if the commission was willing, I'd like to pursue having him contact Huntington, get a site plan, update it with the improvements that he's made, and then we can understand better where everything is.
Gotcha. Tim, this was on the last meeting the first time, right?
Yes.
And it doesn't actually say that we voted on it, but we found it to be a violation. That's what
Correct.
we stated. Yeah.
Well, we believe it is with relations to the easement.
Yep.
But we also, as Attorney Russo pointed out, there were potentially some regulated activities occurring without a permit in the regulated area, like the shed and the driveway and the patio. So I would agree with Chris that I think
That's where I was
before we can
getting
make
to.
any decisions, that we need a
We
survey.
want to see what, are we playing on a football field or a baseball field?
Yeah, it's tough because when I first was looking at it and you saying, oh, well, there was a 5-foot extensive driveway, which I actually think is shown here. I'm like, oh, well, that looks like, again, it looks like it's close to the property line. But then when I look at this plan, the driveway extension, if it was 5 feet, looks like it would be entirely outside the regulated area.
Right.
So, and the stairs, I believe, are around here somewhere, and then there's the shed, which may clip, a corner of it may clip into the regulated area. The baseball area does look like it's back here, but I can't tell what's actually in the conservation easement and what's out of it. So again, that's why I just think it would be helpful to have that plan.
I think you actually need that plan. Is your client willing to?
Oh, yeah, to where I'm remedying it, and absolutely.
Tim, are you? We would present the plan, a survey that shows these things are out of there. That's something that you would want to see, right?
Yeah, and if everything was done outside that area, then I would be willing to just dismiss the violation. I think it's a simple, especially after the fact, this would be a simple decision.
They're working with you and through us. And they're engaged. If it goes the survey, then we have a baseline to see, okay, we're working with, and then we can decide if we're gonna move forward. Maybe some sort of application to do something, or say it's not needed because we can't regulate it. That
Easy enough. Yeah.
Commissioners, everybody okay with that? I think that's good for that one.
The right way for it.
Thank you.
All right, where are we? We are moving on to number 2. It's an update for 361 and 373 Cross Highway. And Tim, obviously for number 1, we'll put it on for next month. If we keep it on the update list. So back to number 2 under 9 legal enforcement actions is 361, 373 Cross Highway. Any movement there, Tim?
Yes, just let the record reflect, there's an error on this agenda. 373 does not fall under the commission's purview as it relates. That's a wetlands issue and not a conservation easement issue.
Okay.
But 361 does. And an update, I did have correspondence today with Attorney Russo, who is here tonight. Do you want to speak to?
I'm not really sure.
He may or may not be here.
Yeah, so again, Chris Russo, Rizio LLC. I forwarded over an application that was completed for the issue regarding the trees. So are you discussing the trees tonight or it's different?
Well, as far as my update internally, I have had correspondence with Attorney Russo, as I mentioned, but also with the Huntington Company, who is performing a survey as required under the NOV. And I think this is a similar situation to Anvil, that without the survey, we don't know if the violation occurred on this property or what encroachments occurred within our easement on the north side. I won't speculate, but I think the other property at 355 is involved as well, where the trees were located. But separately, there is an easement over the water course and wetlands on the western side along the service road. That was also part of the original violation and resulted in the permit suspension. So there's two things happening at the same time. I have not received the survey yet.
Okay,
The deadline has not expired. And
well, that's good to know.
Attorney Russo's here.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
Is that survey being paired? Is it gonna, are they,
I believe it is, yes.
are you counsel?
I am trying to facilitate getting the matter resolved. I think the issue for me, I mean, you know,
I
especially
understand.
with this commission is I don't actually, despite as what I might argue, I don't actually add a lot in the sense of I'm not an expert, I'm not a surveyor, and I'm not a soil scientist. So I really need those folks
I agree with
to
that
do
part,
something for me to be able to help.
but at the same time, there's no predetermination in my comment or my statement. It's just simply that I think you would be helpful. Be a liaison, if you will.
Yes.
Between your client and everybody else to keep us updated.
And I'm happy to do that.
Would be
Yeah.
much better if you were actually retained, because there's a different obligation than just kind of.
Right, yeah, and I just, and I will check in with him to get an update to where the consultants are, but I kind of need them to produce the material for me to have even an application for
Well,
it.
our director said that he needs it anyways, so I'm okay, just one more month, but I mean, it's always this.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, I understand.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I know, I get it. Thank you.
thank you.
Also, if I could provide one other
Yes,
update, I
I'm sorry.
received after hours today that town council, our town attorney has filed in Superior Court a temporary injunction on the 361 property.
Okay.
So
Well,
they have a status conference March 3rd at 10 a.m. So that is moving forward. So you might end up being
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not retained for that, for handling that, so.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Moving on to number 3. Actually, no, I'm not gonna be on. Council, I know you're leaving, but I'm just gonna talk to the commission. This is where the difficulty part is, right? Because he's always had all these things going on. And it's not one uniform representation, because it's all goes back to the same thing.
Right.
Right? Is it even Muddy Puddle anymore, or is it some other LLC? Because I think he transferred into a different LLC.
that's 373.
That's 7373. Is this?
361 with the house is still this docket has Town of Fairfield versus Muddy Puddle 3 LLC.
Okay. All right, well, it's that disjointedness that is frustrating for us, council, just to let you know.
No, I understand. Thank you.
All righty, so now moving on, number 3, update Laurel Brook Lane.
Since our last meeting, I did receive a planting plan. I believe. Was included. It's preliminary. I did include it in your packet, along with a copy of the historic NOV dated September 27, 2024. It also included for your memory, the conservation easement text, subdivision map, and the last page of that in your packet is a copy of the restoration plan, which was up for your review and comment. I have not dug into it yet. I think the plant selection is adequate, but I think as it relates to the easement, which is on the maps, there, I would recommend looking further into this walking path and other things that may or may not be permitted as it relates to the easement. This violation is also being pursued corrective action by the agency, so wetlands things versus easement things are running parallel. believe the larger version, PDF version is also available on the cloud. I know, 8.5 by 11 is not great for map viewing. But just to put it in paper, wanted to include it. I'll be reviewing it in further detail. I could maybe suggest to complete my review and provide a memo
Okay.
to the agency with my comments, and then if the commission wants to build upon that. At this point, I don't think it's an urgency matter. It's related to the easement as much as it would be for the wetland side.
I'm just, it just struck me again, it says September 27, 2024, and I mean, that's a couple of years.
Yeah, this one, they were active and then went cold and unresponsive until I sent another order.
Okay, all right. No, we'll wait to see what you tell us then with your review. All right,
Very good.
put that on for next meeting or as well, just keep it on the update list.
They did engage ELS as a good landscape architect, and he is also the one involved with 120 Wakeman.
Okay,
So we're working together on both,
okay,
if that's to any advantage.
good, good. All right, any questions? Okay, moving on to Roman numeral 10. Staff reports number 1, welcome Colleen Dean, Administrative Assistant, part-time.
She's our newest. We are now fully staffed, proud to say, and she's great. She's been in her seat a couple weeks now. Well, invite anyone to stop by and meet her and the rest of the staff. But she's diving right in, and if everyone recalls, Chelsea, who runs Fair TV for the agency, it's her mom. So, I joke that they go home and talk about what happened at wetlands and what happened in the department.
Yeah.
But
No,
she
they don't.
probably not. No, she's again a great addition. It was difficult. It was a long process to get high quality staff for this, to fill this role since I wanted to say I started this in October. There was a lot of high volume but low quality. Found her and so far very happy. And gets along great with Alex, so they're a good team, which makes it even better.
All right, well, welcome. Number 2, miscellaneous reports. A is Bobcat tractor delivered on February 17th, 2026. And I guess Tom drives around town.
You're getting rides, right?
Yeah.
I burned my gas.
That's, we have a new Becker situation here. You're using it for your daily commute, right?
Commuting, right? With the snow.
That way, right?
Yes,
Somebody
yes.
just move them out of the way.
Well, we all saw it outside, so it's really,
It's lovely.
it's great that it's.
Yeah, the seat's really comfy.
Was it a cup holder?
Take it over.
But right, it's
Nice. Sure.
has it
That's with the
been
pony.
effective? What's it done so far? What do you?
We used it over at Penfield Mills and Perry's Pond to put up 2 new kiosks this week. And I gotta tell you, the thing has a lot of power. Went right through the frost.
Really?
Perry's Pond is hard to dig because it's very bony, a lot of rock there. And that thing chewed it up.
Nice.
And we also have 3 attachments that we got with it. We got a mower for the back for our fields where we hopefully we don't have to rent as long machine. Or we got a grappling hook on the front. And we have a bucket that also goes on the front, the backhoe attachment. That's it, right?
Yeah, it's the right size, the right power. Much bigger. If you put the Bobcat next to the Kubota, it's hard to believe without seeing them side by side, but it's gonna be a game changer for the department. So
Nice.
I'm glad we got it. And it's what we we're not disappointed.
I love it.
Add some canoe wax if you want to.
Really?
That's great. Well, good. And that fits right into our vehicle in, replacement plan. So now we
Right.
have a starting date for,
Yeah.
I
I did, that was one of the other edits I made today was, I said it was coming in the draft and today I changed it that we have it.
It's here, yes. Excellent. All right. Sub B is submitted a grant application for February 12th, 2026 to Connecticut Association of Wetland Scientists for Plant Biodiversity Project at FIFS.
Just to get some funding for additional projects there. I worked with our grant manager to submit that. It's a very small grant. I think it's around $1,200 or $1,500. But it was in the back, the intent would be to remove invasives, plant natives, and have QR codes with educational links to what the plan is, why it's good, what are the benefits, to tie in riparian buffer with natives, with pollinators, with education. So I think a lot of you know, and I've processed your reimbursements. You're going to the cause meeting next Wednesday, March 4th. If I don't know if we've been awarded this grant, but if we do, that will be announced at that point. So,
Yes. And then C is grant application to Environmental Professionals Organization of Connecticut in progress for various improvements at FIFS.
that one is in progress, again, with the grants manager, looking for other funding sources. I used to belong to EPOC when I was consulting. Again, this is another small one in like the 2,000, 1,800 dollar range that we may use to address the ADA access at the back door, something more structural on the facility in contrast to the previous grant I just described. So haven't submitted that yet. We have a little time, but that is on my desk right now.
Nice.
TBC.
And number 3 is the budget in progress for fiscal year 27.
Yesterday, the first budget hearing for the Board of Selectmen. There were some changes to our expense lines, 3 lines in particular. They were reduced by $18,000 in total. Mostly the 2 lines with related to maintenance of equipment and buildings and grounds were 2 larger lines that were reduced, and then a smaller portion reduced out of our rental budget line. So those 3 were reduced, at the same time representing this commission, and on behalf of the department, I also represented the Shellfish Commission and made the request at that meeting to I'll call it request consideration for the new boat, the aluminum boat we discussed before, which is also in vehicle vessel and equipment replacement plan. The current boat, as Tom and I have discussed, is wood. It's way past its lifetime and it has holes that you can put your thumb through. I think we both or all consider it unsafe and not for town employees to go out into the ocean with.
You can't use flexi?
We've tried that.
We did.
It has no
I'm
more.
sorry, but that was worth an hour.
It has no more room to fill anything and patch. So
We're glad you're not on the Board of Finance.
Or maintenance.
So they did entertain that. Like I said, it wasn't in the budget book. It had been discussed, but didn't make it in there, so I brought it up again. And I think there's some opportunities that lighten the load. One, the sticker on the new aluminum boat that will last decades past the wooden one, is 31,000 and change. Half of that is going to be absorbed by the Shellfish Commission, which was our original plan. So it came out to about 15,900 and change each. So to fund that, I suggested that we do get a roughly $10,000 grant every year from Save the Sound to perform water quality work out in Southport Harbor. Excuse me. So that could be applied to this to some extent, as well as a couple borrowing some funds from unused budget lines on the Shellfish Commission's operating budget. So I think between that, it really, the town's expense is down to about 5,000.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
we should be able to make work.
Okay.
And that benefits the department for that specific water quality sampling, but also a lot of the operations from the Shellfish Commission for planting clams and dispersing oyster shell and stuff like that. So the boat's great. It comes with a trailer. It's ready to go. And I guess the next stop in the budget process with the operation budget and to some extent, Shellfish and the boat is aboard finance next week. So I think it's next Thursday at 7. I'll go before them present again. So it's a tight year. I know, talking to other department heads, every department's getting lines cut. So we're not, conservation's not getting picked on. Everyone, I don't live here, but you do, that know about the reval and financial things are way out of my scope are changing. So I think the mechanism was to reduce what we can on the town side, and hope that there's increased revenue. And I did project with our early budget meetings, relatively modest increase of revenue based on our certificates and inland wetland permits. I think it was about 29,000 in increased revenue over this fiscal year. It's anyone's guess. If there's more big buildings or more houses or more pools, who knows? But that the percentage in increase that was trending was hopefully accurate based on previous finances. So
All right.
we'll see. But that's my experience yesterday in a nutshell for FY27 budget.
Excellent. Moving on to Roman numeral 11, other. Does anybody have any?
I have one thing. It's probably germane to when we talk about the rules and regulations, which will be next meeting. But have recently seen some ice fishers out on Lake Mohegan, which is not covered in any of the laws as to how to manage open space and for people to be walking out and drilling a hole.
Do it.
I know.
That's up to deep.
Police.
That's up to NCON police.
Because they've been there over the course of the last couple of weeks.
They've been there for the last couple of years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This was the first year there was enough freeze that they could be out.
2 years ago, they were out there and I went out there with Fairfield Police Department. They can't do anything. NCON showed up and they said, as long as they have their permit, they're welcome to fish there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we can't regulate fishing.
Oh,
NCON,
What's it?
Environmental Conservation.
Safety, just nobody touched the ice before
Is
they.
that
Part of the
deep?
state
Out of
police.
deep?
Yes, yeah.
So they're Department of Deep or Department of?
Deep.
They're deep. Okay.
It's interesting.
Okay,
So you
so
can't-
same
you
as
can't go out
fishing
there
from
when it's
shore in
water, but you can
January.
go out there when it's frozen.
Is that right? It's the same as fishing from shore, but now it's in January.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
but they're on the
it's
ice.
fishing.
That they're out on the ice.
They're drilling
Yeah,
holes
but
on the
now
ice.
they're on the
it falls
ice.
through if nobody's testing the thickness of the
Go out
ice.
there at your own risk.
Job to check
It's
the
a
thickness of
safety,
the ice.
it's a safety issue.
It's the same as fishing from shore. It's their job not to fall off the rock.
Yeah, no, I guess,
Okay.
yeah,
So it's their liability.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
not the town.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the water happens to freeze, so they walk out on it.
The town has some exemptions.
Stupid, but other than that.
Well, I don't think so, because I ice fish.
And if you fall down and break your leg on a trail, like the town's exempt from being sued.
Yeah.
As long as we don't charge then.
Yeah.
But I was concerned about just the thickness of the ice and that.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Tested.
that's their job to trust that and manage it.
Are you actually a nice
Yeah, sure,
enthusiast?
sure.
So if you were to tell, so maybe that'll help Tim, like, if you go, is there a way you recognize thickness of ice or
It's
safety or
difficult to
how-
recognize thickness of ice, especially this year with snow.
Okay,
That's a key factor to it. A key factor. Connecticut State Parks had an open house at Burr Pond that I participated in last weekend. And they had a couple hundred people on the ice there. But it's tricky with snow on top of the ice. But Ted, it's the same as fishing from a rock, but only now it's frozen, so they walk out. What they're doing is not illegal unless they don't have the Connecticut State fishing license.
Okay.
okay.
I was just worried about safety.
Yeah, well, that, I'm glad
Yeah,
that,
same as hiking, falling off a log.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And the
All right.
Parks Department is the department that tests the ice in this town.
there is a, is
Well,
that
it-
information
it
that's
tests-
available?
It tests
Ice skating. I know
for
they-
ice skating,
For ice skating?
for
I
ice skating.
didn't even know you can do that. So you can ice skate on.
You drill a hole in the ice and there's a certain amount of inches that they
And then
consider to be
that's-
safe.
I learned something.
Yeah, Owen Fish, they used to skate at. We haven't had enough, it's been cold enough for the last 10 years.
But yeah, the cold before people did. Okay. Wow,
Which
that
is
is
great,
great,
because there won't be
Like a-
bumps in the spring.
Yes, right.
Exactly.
It's actually a good thing.
Okay,
Well, that was my only other thing.
all right, now, well, I appreciate that, and, Pete, you have anything?
I have one thing, I gave out, it's informational at this point. We talked very briefly last time about that Newtown had. The Conservation Commission was working towards banning the anticoagulants on the town properties. My idea is, I think it's more of a stepped approach. I mean, I think we talked about that, we want to do it, that, I think from my point of view, I think the simpler technique would be first do it on our public open spaces, because we already have the authority and the obligation to regulate those spaces. I think it's a shorter leap. And then we would have the platform to move on to town-owned properties. Bear in mind, this isn't the whole town. We could only really do it on town-owned properties, but I think the first step logically would be look at the open spaces and then move on, because we'd have to go to the legislative committee and the RTM.
Right.
So I think this short step would be better.
Being, looking for support.
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
town to expand that to the
Exactly.
school system as well as the, you know, the dump, et cetera. Let's talk about this, because this is not a bad idea.
Right.
Question is, do we have any rat control problems on any of our open?
So in
spaces?
many respects, it's symbolic, but I feel that it's something we can do almost unilaterally.
Yeah.
It doesn't require, because we can make rules, but most of them have to go through the RTM.
Right.
And this would have to go through the RTM and I just think this would be a good first step.
Well, and what I'm considering also has to be written and go through the RTM, like be enacted. Like,
So is this like, would be a flare or a first shot to see?
This would
how
be
it
for,
goes?
this would be for us and it's very limited in scope.
It's well,
For us.
well written. I
I kind of go on, but I like to, at least if I use the term, I want to provide, not, if you don't want to read it, the footnotes, skip them. But there's so
Well,
much,
it's a great way to build
really
momentum.
easy to find
because-
research.
Well, this would be a great way to build momentum because I am.
That was my idea.
Side of it.
And we can do it quickly and neatly, and then we've got a platform to work on. So yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's a good idea.
No, I think it's a great idea. And I think also educating people about why.
Yeah, the bullets,
Yep.
basically, you read the bullets, it's like this leads to this, I'm trying to.
Yes.
Consolidated a lot of
I
the,
like to kind of make it
Excuse me.
so that it stands by itself. You can.
I think Dabney and I are also going to present it to.
Exactly,
To the, Metrocog.
right.
And see if we can get other towns.
Well done.
Right.
Very nicely
Well,
done.
this is what a boy does when he's snowed in.
Saves the world.
I don't know, I've been binging, Overfit.
All right, any others? Then, yeah, all right. We're good.